Hi.
Nice to see you. Hi, I'm Jason with Molecular Cloud. Thanks so much for coming online with us.
Well, thank you. I'm Claudia, and this is Paula. We're together because we're actually sisters. So,
Oh, very nice. And you two are on the
yeah.
same iGEM team?
Yeah, we're in the same
Yep.
iGEM team, yes.
Wow, I wish I had that kind of relationship with my brother. That would have been really cool. You went into
Yeah.
computer science though, so totally different paths.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for coming online. I just want to make sure that we can get a couple more people in here before we actually start. Um, Thanks for joining. We got some more iGEM teams coming in here. Very nice. Cool.
Yeah.
So I actually am going to be recording all of this. So later on, I can send you the MP4. And
Okay, that's perfect.
yeah, if you wanted to have that for your team page or something, that would be cool. Yeah. So
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
so you guys are iGEM RUM. What does the RUM actually stand for?
Well, it's the initials of our university. In Spanish, it's Recinto Universitario de Mayagüez. So even though it spells RUM, well, it's the initials for our university. But in iGEM last year, we participated as iGEM UPRM, UPRM, which is the other initials.
Yes.
So we got like two different initials.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. I saw that
And
because you have
UPRM
the
stands
slash
for
in there. So yeah,
University
the
of
schools.
Puerto Rico, Mayagüez.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What was that?
That UPRM stands for University of Puerto Rico in Mayagüez.
Yes. Yes. Oh, wonderful. Okay. So yeah, I wanted to discuss what I know that you guys are involved with some science education type of goodwill outreach kind of thing, which you're doing. I think it's called. Forgive me if I pronounce this wrong, but La Via.
Oh,
And
that's correct. Yeah.
what is that?
Well, one of the problems, like this is the second year we're going to participate in iGEM. So one of the problems that we saw when we first started the iGEM team was that like no one really knew what synthetic biology was in Puerto Rico or even the university. It was like a topic that only a few professors knew about. So we decided that we wanted to start educating the public and make that part of our iGEM experience. So we did different things. The VIA, which is what you mentioned, is a project specifically to reach different communities in Puerto Rico that are developing communities that usually don't have the access to different science projects. And there's an institute in a university, which is called the Institute for Developing Communities, that assigns students to different communities to go and help them and organize and take different education events and stuff like that. And then one of our team members, he was part of this institute. So he had the initiative with our professor, our PI, to go to this community, and we took different workshops in molecular biology, food safety, and different things like that. And there were things that maybe the students and the parents hadn't seen before in their schools and stuff like that. So it was really nice to see them see these things for the first time. And we didn't just do that too. We also did a summer camp last year for high school students. It was around
the first synthetic biology summer camp.
Yeah, it was for 50 students from all around the island. And they had a week, 1 week intense workshops about synthetic biology. At the end of the week, they were able to present their own prototypes, their own projects. And this year, you know, due to this situation where we're going to do it, but we're going to do it online, which is a little different. But we're still like looking for different opportunities that we can reach the community with synthetic biology. And that's one of our main goals as iGEM RUM, because in Puerto Rico, like the synthetic biology community is starting with us. Like before us, it didn't really exist.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So, what did you guys do to help the developing communities for in terms of synthetic biology? Did you ran workshops with them? Like, did you teach them like lab practices and things like gel electrophoresis and things like that?
In the communities, we took activities. It was like more hands-on activities of extraction, for example, extraction of strawberry DNA and things like that. And it's very fun to see them because it's very hands-on, and they with the strawberries and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we also ran the summer camp, and we also had workshops for high school students during a weekend, and those were a little bit more
lab technical
intensive, and there were more like lab techniques and all that.
Yeah, they learned
Well,
how
those
to
are
do
some. Oh, no,
ligation,
no, go
like
ahead.
transformation, gel electrophoresis, those kind of things. Because because they were in the lab, so it was easier to do it in the lab than have to take all those materials to like a community. And that was
Mhm.
also like very cool because the students were seeing things that I didn't really see until I got to the iGEM team. So that was really, really cool to see.
Yeah, that is really interesting. I actually didn't even get into like DNA doing stuff like lab practices like DNA extraction or gel electrophoresis until like college. So that's
Yeah.
amazing to have that opportunity so early for them. They could really use that. That's amazing work, and I hope you guys are very proud of that.
Yes,
Um,
we are.
yeah, so you guys are an iGEM team competing in the 2020 competition. And so, for anyone who's unfamiliar with iGEM, it stands for the International Genetically Engineered Machine, and it's a competition for collegiate students to design and conduct a research project. And typically, it focuses around molecular biology and synthetic biology. So, what is iGEM RUM doing this year for their research project?
Well, we are focusing more on contamination this year. I don't know if this is common knowledge, but in Vieques, which is like a little island,
Municipality.
a municipality of Puerto Rico, but it's like a little island. There was the U.S. Marines did bombing practices here until around 2001, 2003, and this left a lot of contamination in this area. And you can see that because the cancer percentage of people who live in this area, even though it's like a very small population, is higher than the rest of the island. And some of the contamination here are arsenic, magnesium, PCBs, mercury. And well, this is kind of common knowledge in Puerto Rico, and there are research being done on how we can clean this area, but we wanted to focus on that, and we're gonna try to do a bioremediation prototype.
What?
Bioremediation.
Okay.
A project specifically with magnesium, no mercury, especially with mercury, and
Okay.
that's what we're focused on this year. We're looking for we're making biosensors, different like bacteria that can absorb the metals, and that's what we're focusing on this year's.
So you guys are going to use like a microbe to detect things?
Yes,
And
that's right.
have you just figured out how you would have the microbe signal to you that it's detected something?
We're still under that developing prototype design part. We're still under that part of the project, but we were thinking of maybe by absorbing the mercury,
Okay.
and with the PCB molecule, we were thinking of bioremediating that part.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, you could have the microbe absorb the molecule, then you could remove the microbe. It would be larger than the molecule, so it might be easier to do that.
Yeah.
That's certainly an interesting project. Yeah, so this is an environmental type of biotechnology pursuit because this water is contaminated, and is there? I'm sorry, I'm not very familiar with the uh, the water issue in Puerto Rico. So you telling me about that is all news to me. It's very unfortunate, but it's good that you two are that you and your team are working on that. Um, yeah. So, and this is, do you think that this is something that could be applied to other water systems that may be contaminated with mercury and things like that? Because I know that there's a lot of mercury in basically the oceans in general. Like sometimes you have to be careful with the fish that you eat because it could be mercury contamination in it. Um, yeah. So, would this is this something that you think could be like applied elsewhere in outside of Puerto Rico, or maybe in
Definitely,
like more than
yes.
just the I don't think I can pronounce the name of the region where it was.
Vieques.
Yeah, Vieques.
Okay, yeah, that one.
Yeah, I think definitely if our project is successful, then it could be applied to other waters that are contaminated with these metals, and maybe adapt the project to detect the metals in other mediums that are not water. That would be cool too.
Okay, yeah, that would be really interesting to see.
Yeah, and we also want to like see if we can adapt it to different contaminants, not just not start with mercury, but then we can build up and make it a system that like you could change what contaminant you want to detect or absorb or that kind of thing.
Yeah, that would be that would be really useful actually to have something like that. I think a lot of that would be also how to collect them to remove from the water. And I
That's
see
one of
that
the problems we're having. Yeah.
yeah, that's definitely going to be a bottleneck here. And but there are quite a few ways that you could probably go about that. Just I guess just trying to brainstorm with you for a second, like maybe if they were uh, magnetically attracted to something, then you'd be able to do something like that. That's just one of my ideas. But yeah, I'm sure you guys have been brainstorming for quite some time now, so and I'm sure you'll figure something out.
Yep, and just like yesterday, we had a virtual meeting. The team had a virtual meeting, and we were discussing like those same subjects. And we also like someone in the team mentioned that to make the bacteria attract to something. How you said to
be attracted to something.
Yeah, to be attracted to something because of the metals.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's an idea that I would think that's pretty good. Yeah, but I am not really involved in that project, so I think you guys would definitely have maybe something better planned if that doesn't work out.
Yeah, but thank you for those ideas.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I was an iGEMer back when I was in community college too. So yeah. So how right now there's it's a pandemic, and so a lot of almost everywhere labs are shut down. And I know you two, you're sisters, so you're together right now. And so how is you and your team progressing in your research right now?
Well, right now we're doing like almost, I've seen all the teams in iGEM, we're doing virtual meetings. And I think one of the most important things is planning, right? We're making plans if we are able to go back to the lab, or we're making plans if we're not able to go back to the lab. So I think the important thing is having a plan with like all the different options. And for example, I saw that iGEM this year luckily know what's happening, so they changed the rules a bit. So even if you're not allowed to go to the lab, you can still have a good participation. You can still maybe win a medal. So we're kind of just like seeing all the scenarios that are out there for us and making that if we are not able to go to the lab, then we can try to model our project, or we can try to do different things, the things that we can do from our homes, so that maybe next year we can go to the lab and then we can do our project in the lab. Because we already have all the planning from this year.
Yeah, planning out your project is probably going to be one of the most important things to do when conducting any research, to follow a schedule so you can get everything done in time, because this is a real competition and there are deadlines. So it's good that the iGEM headquarters has made some leeway to adapt to the current circumstances. And yeah. Yeah, so after the competition, let's say after the competition and you have some microbe that can absorb mercury and you can remove it from water, what do you plan to do with that? Do you have any goals after the competition?
Well, first I think I would first contact, currently in Puerto Rico there are already researchers focusing on how they can help clean up this area. So I think the best thing to do would be to contact these people that have been doing it for a while, because we know that sometimes, like, since we're students and we're just kind of new in this, we might not have the credibility that those kind of people have. So first I think we could start like contacting those researchers, showing them, look, this is what we have, it works, how can we make this project actually a reality, and how we can actually make it help. So I think that's like the first step would be after the project if we see that it really, really works. Because everyone's aware about this problem in Puerto Rico, so I think it would be a really good thing to work on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can't just take some genetically engineered microbe and throw it in the water.
Exactly.
There's
Yeah.
certainly biosecurity issues with that. Definitely
Yeah.
is always the best way to find an organization or a larger, older organization that's been working on this, and then work with them. And maybe you can present this idea to them, and maybe they'll take it. And
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
you get the glory then.
Yeah.
And so yeah, iGEM RUM, you guys were the winner of the sponsorship for April. Congratulations on that.
Yes, thank you so
And
much for
I just
that.
wanted to congratulate you on that. And I hope that the sponsorship is going to assist you in your project.
Yes, it is.
Is there
It will
anything else you
definitely
wanted
be
to?
a big help.
Oh yeah, I hope it is. Um, I know lab equipment can get really expensive really fast.
Yeah.
Just gloves, pipettes, and things like that can take a big chunk out of your funding. So yeah, yeah, congrats on that. And if there's anything else that you guys wanted to share about your project before we end, um, yeah.
I think that one of the things I most liked about this whole iGEM experience, this is my second year participating, is the community around the world of synthetic biology. Like, I liked how you can connect with different people from all around the world, and you sometimes see that, like, even though everyone has different experiences, they have something that, like, is also the same. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, when we go to a jamboree, we talk about, like, all of us have the same problems when we go to the lab. We have troubleshooting problems. We have different problems within our team. And I don't know, I liked seeing how everyone, even though they're from different places in the world and they have different environments, they can connect. They can go to iGEM and connect and relate. And I think that's one also really good thing about the whole iGEM experience.
Yeah, it's a nice community that iGEM has. So it's pretty much all walks of life all unite to tackle problems using synthetic biology. And Molecular Cloud shares that same idea, is to try to unite people through synthetic biology. And yeah, I really agree with that too. And so I believe that can conclude our live. Thank you for coming and joining with us. I really appreciate that, and I will hopefully hear from you again.
Yeah, thank you for inviting us, and
Thank
thank
you
you for the sponsorship. Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.